Hello, everybody. How is everybody today? Hope everybody's doing great. I'm doing amazing, sort of. Wine. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to make this time to join you guys on the live today. So let's dive straight into the questions that we have today. By the way, guys, I'm reading all of the questions off of the Patreon group. So it is a group where you guys can come on and ask your questions. Actually, you know what? You're early. Hello, hello. Oh, how was Ani? Ani's amazing, right? Everybody's amazing. I'm gonna go up straight up. Okay, so you know how we create, and I know Ani's amazing. I know she really is. You know how we create, and we really gotta watch our mental diets. Anyway, I wasn't quite watching my mental diet, and I accidentally got a little bit sick and ended up getting an appendix removed. So I'm just recovering from that, guys. Yeah, just last week I was unfortunately in the hospital for 4 days. So, but I'm better now. I'm on the mend. I decided to come on and do this. So yeah. So, anyways, watch your mental diets, guys. Like seriously, I know how to create. I know when I created it. I know how I created it. I totally did it, and I was like, oh man. Anyways, if it's something that we love, we enjoy it. We're like, yeah, we created something and it's awesome. But when we create something we don't want that actually has like physical consequences, it kind of sucks. Anyway, but I think really what it's kind of brought an opportunity for me to share with you guys is I'm going to share something from my personal. This is probably why I don't sound my normal self. I can hear my voice; it's a bit weird. But one thing I'm going to share from my personal experience in this last week was that when, at least for me, when I'm not feeling good physically, or so there's something like physically, medically going on with me, I find that it's harder to stay positive on a mental diet. And it's easier to react to things that are happening, in our current surrounding a lot easier. So like things like, for instance, not getting enough sleep or, like hurting yourself or anything like that. And what I did to actually pull myself through, to sort of get myself through it, was one, tell myself that it was only temporary, that I was going to be okay and that everything was going to be fine and it was going to work out. And also focus all of my thoughts on, basically, I'm going to be okay. Surgery's going to go great. Like, oops, I accidentally created this. No big deal. Like, it's going to be over soon, right? And then the other part of it was, really taking the time to remind myself of the things that I created and really to be thankful and grateful for the things that I already had in my life. Because trust me, you know what? It was so easy to just go to the bad of everything and react over everything, and, so we always want to, go back to, go back to, accepting ourselves and accepting our reality, but also, just all around enjoying what you actually have and being thankful for it. So yeah, just some tips. Yes, I intend I'm going to be healthier than ever. And guys, I am doing actually great. I'm back home now. It was awesome. It was nice to come back home after 4 days. And you know what? Like, I was really lucky with all the COVID stuff, like in Canada, like they're great here. But the thing was, you know, there was no visitors allowed. So it kind of sucked for 4 days not having visitors. That was a really big part of recovery, So, but thank goodness I had lots of video calls, right? And, and read all your guys' comments on YouTube. I don't normally read them all. Somebody else helps me to moderate, but yeah. So, you guys kept me sort of up and, around. And thank goodness I had recorded videos and because it was very sudden. And so, guys, let's we've only got a few questions on the Patreon, so today we'll actually dive into some of these we'll dive into some other questions and some things that I was actually seen written and questioned on the YouTube group as well, like on the YouTube comments. So somebody commented on there that basically saying you have a block is a block and that nobody has blocks. Now, I just wanted to comment on that. So the thing is, right, is I wanted to explain what a block is. And okay, so first of all, okay, if you say, look, I have a block and I don't know what it is, then you know what? That's a block. You're blocking yourself because yes, you should be saying I have zero block, zero resistance. I can have what I want. I deserve it. I'm allowed to have it. But that statement isn't quite enough, okay? Because the thing is things are only blocks into relation to what you want. Okay. So if you say, well, look at, you know what, Gerry's never going to forgive me. You know what? He's had it with me and he's dumped me and he said this was the last time. And then you say, oh, but I have a block and I don't know what it is. Okay, that's fine. Now, obviously, there's two blocks there. One is the statement that you have a block and you don't know what it is. The second one is that Gerry is never going to forgive you. Because remember, thoughts are things, they're actual things, okay? So you can say, look, I've got 0 blocks and resistance. This is going to happen, you know, 0 blocks and resistance, but you still maintain the story that Gerry, you know, is never going to forgive you. Well, guess what? Saying you have 0 blocks and resistance isn't going to actually unblock the fact that Gerry's never going to forgive you and he said it was the last time. You actually have to address that one. So, you know, yeah, so there was a comment saying that, you know, it basically, you know, saying that you have blocks as a block. Well, that's true, but just saying I have 0 blocks and resistance isn't changing the story. And what we need to do is change the story, okay? Because technically, if saying I have 0 blocks and resistance was all you needed to do, well, then guess what? You guys would all have what you wanted already, right? It would happen like that, right? So it's about changing the story, because the thing is, right, is there is no such thing as a block. We judge something as a block. We judge it either, okay, look at this, right? If I said to you, right, look at Gerry's never going to talk to me again, but I said, well, I don't care. I don't want to talk to Gerry anyway. That's no longer a block. Having Gerry never want to talk to me again is not a block. But as soon as I say, well, no, I want Gerry to talk to me, but I'm, you know, like, he's mad, he's never going to talk to me again. Now that statement becomes a block. That isn't for your subconscious mind to choose. That's for your conscious mind to choose, depending on what your goal is going to be. So a statement can either be a block or it can be in alignment to what you want, depending on what you want. Okay. So there is nobody that's going to, you know, automatically make something a block or an unblock except for you. So you have to consciously do it by changing the story. So I just wanted to address that, because I did actually see that comment on the YouTube channel and I was like, come on, guys. I don't know who commented it, but I was like, come on. I'm like, don't steer people wrong here. People need to change the story still, right? Or else they would already have it, right? So blocks aren't a bad thing, you know. I mean, it's just a matter of I need to change my opinion or my belief about something. And, you know, and that's the thing, is we get to choose. We have free will to choose our beliefs, right? We either choose beliefs that are going to put us in line with what we want, or we choose beliefs that are going to block us from what we want. I mean, okay, so my little, like, you know, last week of surgery, that belief was sort of blocking me from what I want, which is perfect health. Right? But now that it's done, then now that's what's going to happen going forward, right? Okay, so let's get started on these questions here, guys. So, is it Evil Kitty 64? That was your comment, or was that? I'm not sure that was your comment, unless I didn't see that name on the YouTube. But if you had a question about that, I've answered it. Anyways, guys, let's answer some questions here. You know what? I'm all about helping you guys reach what you want. I mean, that's the whole reason why I started to do this. This is the whole reason why I do this. This is the whole reason why I put myself out publicly. And, you know, and there's been parts of me in comments that have come back not so great. And it's like, well, whatever, you know, like, I mean, thick skin, don't really care. But, you know, I mean, I do it because I care and I want to help you guys. So, you know, whether, you know, everybody in the world thinks that or not, it's really, you know, well, whatever. But at any rate, I do appreciate all of you guys. So the one thing also, too, that I actually have the moment to read all the YouTube comments, this is going to be why I just said what I said, was because I noticed that some people weren't being nice to other people in the comments. And, you know, and I just want to say that, you know, I deleted them immediately and blocked them. So if you're going to say things to people that, you know, what they're doing is wrong, or they shouldn't believe what they believe or whatever, then that's going to be the quickest way to not be able to comment on the channel, because I really want a safe space for everybody and everybody to feel accepted and wanted and treated with respect, and, you know, for everyone's beliefs to be, you know, what they desire is their desire. If they want an X back, they want an X back, you know, and nobody should be telling them that they're wrong for wanting that, or any other thing that they want to create in their life. Okay, so judgment-free zone, and yeah, there's zero tolerance for judgment of other people, especially when you guys are, you know, and somebody's mean to another subscriber, then you know, I'll delete it, just to let you guys know and block it. So, you know, let's be nice and supportive to each other and help each other rather than bring each other down, right? But of course, the people that were on there bringing people down, you know, were obviously, they're not happy in their life to begin with, and, you know, but that's how it ends up manifesting and coming out, but that's fine, you know. So At any rate, I do appreciate all of you guys, and those are just some things that I wanted to mention from the actual YouTube channel. So yeah, the comments. Anyways, let's dive into these questions. So Ava's question, we're answering it at how far? I'm just going to put the time. So 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Oh my goodness, guys. I rambled on for 10 minutes and 17 seconds. Answered your question. Okay. So what is her question? I actually haven't pre-read these this week. It's been a crazy week. So, hi Amanda, I hope you're well. I am now. Don't laugh. Hurts. Okay. I know you believe that we create our own quantum bubbles and free will doesn't exist for others because they are Gerry dolls. Well, I mean, that's an easy way to describe it. Neville describes it as everybody is dead. So I figured Gerry doll was a bit better than saying that, right? But basically, everyone's a piece of your consciousness, okay? But what do you think about the concept of co-creation? So, I mean, I'm honestly, everyone co-creates and helps me create what I'm looking to create. That's how I look at co-creation. You're asking about another YouTuber here that I'm not going to comment on. I don't know this YouTuber. I don't watch any of their videos. I don't know any of their theories, so I really don't want to comment on it because I just don't know. I don't know them. I don't watch their videos, so I don't know what they mean by co-creation. Co-creation is a very generic term. Co-creation could mean that everybody's creating on their own, or co-creation could mean that everybody's taking a part in helping you create what you want. It's a very general, vague term, right? So do you not believe that we create in harmony with others? No, I think that everything is in harmony. And I think everything is in harmony to create what I want to create because I'm the only consciousness in my reality. Okay, that's what I believe 100%. Okay, so and as well as the source, I'm not sure what the source is. Again, I don't know this YouTuber, so I can't comment on what their terminology is and what they're talking about. I mean, I would say for me, the source would be like my God state. The fact that everything is able to be created by me and in my reality, and take full responsibility for everything that shows of my reality. Like for instance, I was just talking about, some comments of people being mean to other people. I'm sorry, I created that. And I intend that everyone's nice to each other on the YouTube channel going forward, and so 100% responsibility there, right? So can you please talk about this in relation to a specific person in a third party situation? What are the best ways to deal with a situation where your person is with someone else and you keep thinking about the situation as if it was hopeless? So, okay, we've got to start changing around the situation as hopeless. But honestly, what I see is going on here, Ava, is basically I would, just from your earlier question on here, is start to just really find out what creating means to you and how you do it, right? So it looks like you're going out and you're trying to figure out what the law of attraction is to begin with, okay? And what I used to do this, and I was so guilty of it. I would watch, I didn't really watch all the videos, but I would went to this, this course, that course, this course. I'd listen to my friends, and everybody had all of these things and everybody was using all these terms that I didn't understand. And then finally, one day I was in this course and it was actually landmark worldwide. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I 100% recommend it. I was in this course and they said basically like force a breakthrough in your life. Like seriously, take a complaint and start changing it and stop complaining about it and start changing it into, the positive. And so I did that with paid parking because I couldn't see, I was like, how is this paid parking going to change? How is New Westminster going to take away all of the parking meters and everything like that, right? And to me, it seemed impossible, but I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I did it. And guess what happened? I would either find a parking meter that had money on it, or somebody would give me their parking stub that I could use, or even better, I would find a free parking, just on the other street from the paid parking. And that's when it hit me. My thoughts actually can create, okay? They create. And I firsthand started experimenting and playing with what I knew to be true. And as I did that, I was like, I get this. So what I'm going to say to you is test it. Test out everything. See how it works for you. You know what? Everybody can sit around and tell you how it works for them. And everybody can sit around and tell you all these different terms. But you've got to find out how it works for you. Okay, so my argument in my head, okay, with a third party, okay, let's say that, there's a third party. Actually, one day there was, Andrew was talking, like, well, it wasn't really, but he was talking to this one girl, right? And she had this nice blonde hair. It was at this networking event. And I got a little bit worried for a minute. And then I was like, no, you know what? Everyone's me pushed out. My thoughts create. Guess what? No, he wants to be with me. Like, but that's the fight that I have in my head, and it ends there. Okay. So there is no more thoughts of hopelessness. For a moment there, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm like, Amanda, come on, get with it. You know that everyone's being pushed out, and you have enough evidence, and you know that your thoughts create, end of story. So you have to prove that this works to you, and you have to have confidence in yourself on how it works. So go out there, start getting on top of your thoughts, start practicing on things that you have zero resistance with. Okay. You know what? Even too, people that have no idea about the law of attraction, I mean, they just have confidence in themselves and they think the other person wants to be with them, hands down. Okay. So, what you really need to do is, first of all, is knowing the law of attraction. There gives us the extra opportunity of having a block of questioning if we're even doing it right, questioning what the law of attraction even is, right? Whereas people that don't know the law of attraction, they're just like, nope, that person likes me. That's all there is to it, right? But then when we know the law of attraction, am I doing it right? Did I do that technique right? Now we've just added extra layers on there. So, if we are going to say, okay, look at, I consciously create, start saying, I know how to consciously create. I know how it works. I'm good at it. I'm a master at it, because you've been doing it your whole entire life. Okay. So a few areas I would look at there. And guys, you know what? We are having a sale with Carol and Ani right now as well. They're going to help you, teach you how this works and how it works for you, right? And all my videos, if you go back into the later videos, you'll see that everything is all on there. There's everything that you could possibly need to understand how this works and to make a change in your life. You don't necessarily need to do coaching with us, right? I put everything out there because I want you guys to be successful. And a lot of you guys are actually successful without even doing coaching with us, So that's the awesome thing, because I'm here to help. Okay, let's move on to Nicole's question. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay, I'm trying not to move too much. Let's see here. Okay, so 17 minutes and 16 seconds. We've got Nicole's question. Okay, so I hope you're doing good. Pretty cool. I'm doing my best to do good. I want to see my specific person again, and I know where he parks after work and when he finishes it. Can I go there and meet him, or is it just better to keep intending that I will meet him in person? How about taking action in general? I mean, to take action or not to take action? Good question. So no, technically you don't have to take any action. You can create it where someone's absolutely chasing after you, right? Like, absolutely. But the one thing I learned about taking action is this, okay? Pardon me. If you're worried about doing something because you're scared to be rejected, then you can never call it into you, okay? So if I'm like, no, you know what? I would call Gerry, but I'm scared he's going to reject me. So I intend he calls me and asks me out. Okay, that I'm never going to get the phone call in. Okay. So now, do I have to phone him and ask him out? No, I don't. I can definitely intend and manifest him asking me out, but I've got to be comfortable with the thought of even doing it, because our thoughts create. Okay. So if I'm creating that there's a possibility of rejection, if I contact him, then I'm worried about that, then I'm already creating that by even intending him to bring it into me. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, yeah, you can go there to meet him. You can take whatever action you want. It's what you make the action mean. That's going to be the problem. Me, I go out. You know what? I get what I want. I do what how I create quicker, okay, is I take action. I will actually physically take action. Okay. So like, for instance, when I was like, selling stuff way back in a previous job, I would actually pick up the phone and phone. I would pick up the phone and I would phone. And if I got to know, I wouldn't care. I would just keep going. Yeah, I just took action, and then I would change my intentions accordingly. So I would knock on the door and say, "Hey, you want to buy my widget?" And they'd be like, "No," slam the door. And they'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then this time I'd be like, "I intend that they at least, listen to my speech, my pitch." I'll knock on the door again. "Hey, you want to buy my widget?" "Okay, what are you selling?" "Okay, I'll tell my speech." "No, I'm not interested." "Can I ask why?" "Yeah, it's too expensive." Okay, then I go back and I'll say, "I intend that they think my widget is nicely priced and they want to buy it." Go back, knock on the door again. Okay, so I will keep doing that, because everything in my reality is only feedback. It's never failure. So I'll go out and I'll test the water. I'll test my reality. I'll get on the court. I'll start playing baseball, basketball, whatever. And I'll be like, okay, how am I doing? Okay, I need to fix this up. I need to change that. And I'll do that to get quicker results. But do you have to do that? Absolutely not. It all comes down to, are you going to go show up and say hi to him? And then he's like, I don't want to talk to you. And then take it as rejection. And then run off and be scared and be upset and beat yourself up. If that's going to be the case, then don't do it. Right. But if you're going to, show up and be like, okay, what's going on, with my reality, what's stuck to him, what hasn't stuck to him. Right. But do you have to do that? Absolutely not. Okay. So again, right, when it comes to taking action, I can't advise yes or no, do this, don't do that. It's just about taking action, and you can or you can't. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. I do to speed things up, and but I don't take rejection as rejection. I just take it as feedback, and I just revise my intentions, my thoughts, my beliefs, and I go back after it again. And that's what I do. Sometimes I sit around and wait for it to come to me. It depends on how I feel, right? But the thing is, right, is if you're going to make something mean rejection, then, you're always going to make it mean rejection, whether it comes to you or whether it doesn't come to you or whether you go out to get it, right? So it's the story that you need to change. And if you had the story that he wanted to talk to you anyway, what would be the problem? You would just walk up to his car and be like, hello, right? So why are we questioning taking action? Are we scared of rejection, right? So, yeah. Anna's question at 21 minutes and 17 seconds. So 21 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay, let's take a look. Hi, Amanda. You are amazing. Oh my God, so are you, Anna. Thank you. And I really appreciate everything that you do. Oh, you're welcome. I really appreciate that today, actually, hearing that. And I appreciate you too. I have a desire to create a business, a dream business. I also want my specific person to come back to me. And I want us to enjoy co-creating our dreams. Am I asking you too much? No, not at all. In fact, you know what? That's what my dream was about 3-4 years ago. Yeah. I can see us really enjoying making something truly great and beautiful. Love it. Great. So start focusing on that. Start, having the conversations in your head that's what he wants. And that's, everything that's coming your way. Okay. So that's what you want to focus on is, everything that you'll see, hear, and feel when you have that. Okay. Start creating that now and build your mental diet off of that particular scenario. Okay. So in 22 minutes and 26 seconds, let's take a look here. Hi, Nanda. I'm curious to know what your opinion on the whispering technique. Love it. Why not? It's just like intentions. It's thoughts. Sending telepathic messages and energy to people and how it ties in with parallel realities. Okay, sure. I would also love to know what books you recommend reading for LOA, as I always love your videos and your energy. Thank you. Okay, first of all, book I highly recommend is, I don't have it here right now. It's on loan to somebody, but it's my Neville book, 100%. 100%, 100% read Neville, read Neville, read Neville. And the other one that I like, sorry, I'm moving around funny today, guys, is this one, The Wealth Mindset. It's not about investing money. It's about investing your thoughts, mental diet. Love it. I would definitely, that's a Neville book. Here's another Neville book, Feeling is a Secret, but that's actually in the complete reader already, so that one's good. So I recommend Neville books. This one, The Wealth Mindset, is not in the complete reader, so I highly suggest getting this one. You've got to get it on its own, or at least it's not in the complete reader that I got. So it's The Wealth Mindset, Understanding the Mental Path to Wealth. Important. The other one that I highly recommend, that I've recommended many, many times on this channel, is I recommend this one, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. He also talks about mental diets. I should be reading this book because he talks a lot about healing yourself with your thoughts and being healthy with your thoughts. A lesson I could use right now. I should have had this in the hospital with me. Anyway, so really, really good book. And yeah, but the main thing is, right, it's not so much like, oh, you know what, it's not about being successful or not successful. It's about knowing how you create. I think that's the most important thing. I know how I create. I'm master at it. You know, I've created some amazing things in my life, and I can create what I want, but I still create some things that I don't want, just like this last week. It's not my idea of something I was doing sats over, right? But you know what? It happens. And, you know, because I know I didn't stay on top of my thoughts in certain areas, and I get it, you know. So it's knowing, you know, and but that makes the sting all the less, knowing that, you know, it's not such a big deal when you know that you've created it. I think that's really important, you know, part to not reacting is to know that how you created something. Because when you created it, you're like, oh yeah, I totally created that. Okay, I can turn it around, like no big deal. You know what I mean? So I think that's the most important thing is taking responsibility for it, knowing how you created it, not making it such a huge deal when something happens. So let's talk a little bit about the whispering technique. Every thought that you have, you're constantly whispering it out. Okay. So parallel realities, right? Let's talk a second about that. So parallel reality right now is if I was to say that, you know what, Gerry's in love with me, that's a reality. Okay. But then if I was to say, oh, Gerry doesn't love me, that's a different reality. That's a parallel reality. So what your conscious thought is what's going, your reality is going to collapse on, because right now, when you're not looking, everything is a bunch of waves. It's all a bunch of waves, and everything is in every possible option it can be in. Okay. So basically, right now, in the terms of, say, an SP, Gerry, okay, right now, he loves me. He wants to be with me. He doesn't want to be with me. He's with another teddy bear. Every single possibility, every single position he could possibly be at, he's at right now. Until I consciously make a thought to make a choice to collapse on one. And then that's the one he's in. Okay. So every minute of the day, today is going to be a good day. I'm now in that parallel reality. But as soon as I turn around, stub my toe and say, oh, today is going to suck, boom, parallel reality is now just shifted into my day sucking. But then I said, no, I'm on my mental diet. I'm like, no, you know what? No, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. Boom. Shifted right back to the other parallel reality that it's going to be a good day. Okay. So your thoughts will shift your parallel reality. And sometimes you shift between multiple parallel realities in a matter of a minute, depending on your mental diet. When you're having a little fight, you're like, dun, 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 right? And then all of a sudden, finally, when it manifests, that's when it collapses on that reality. And that's when it shows up in your reality. Okay. Makes sense? So how I look at it, my thoughts before it actually manifests is basically me kind of like, you know, telling, you know, the artist, okay, put that there, put that there. Oh, no, no, don't put that there, put that there, you know, and then boom, it collapses on that when I finally put enough energy to it and take a moment and then it's there, right? So you're constantly sending telepathic messages to people constantly. Everyone is constantly overhearing your thoughts. Every cell in your body is overhearing your thoughts. Every organ in your body is overhearing your thoughts. Everything is constantly overhearing your thoughts because everything is you. You are the universe experiencing itself. Okay. This is your bubble. This is all you. This is everything that you want. This is everything either you want or everything that you fear and don't want that you've been focusing on that's going to show up. But let's go with it's everything that you want and you're consciously choosing it, okay, to be in your reality because you guys are awake now. You guys know how to consciously create your reality. That's success. Just knowing how this works and knowing how you consciously create your reality, boom, immediate success. Okay. Now it's not about success or failure. It's about you choosing whether or not you're going to be successful or be a failure and choosing to judge your experience as such. Okay. I choose to just say everything's feedback and nothing is a success or failure. Why judge myself? Why judge myself? Like, why? I know darn well how I created things I don't want. And I also know how I created things that I do want. And it was a choice. And maybe in those moments, I chose not to be on top of my mental diet to do it. Does that make me a failure? No. It just makes it in that moment I chose not to do it. Right? Yeah. So basically, you know, your energy is always constantly tying into everything, and your thoughts are constantly going out there and creating the next second, the next second, the next second, the next second. Okay, and the next second in your day is creating the thoughts that you want and collapsing on that parallel reality. Okay, so I intend that that made sense and it all ties in together. Okay, for you. So, yeah. Let's see here. So, okay, so 29 minutes and 12 seconds. So 29 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm going to answer Kenja's question. Okay. Hi, Amanda. I hope you're doing well. I am now. Thank you. I was wondering when you want to recreate a person, even though you're not in a relationship with that person, can you recreate him in a way you like him to act and to show up? Yeah, absolutely. You can create anybody, you know. I mean, that's how, you know that list of, they say when you want to go meet somebody, want some water. They say when you want to go meet somebody, you write a list of all the things that you want that person to be, and then you okay, so I'm going to meet this guy and he's going to have dark hair, he's going to be kind, loving, considerate, blah 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 blah. Well, really what you're doing is you're actually making that person from scratch, and then they show up in your reality. And then of course, because your thoughts go back in time, they get born 20 years prior, and then they get a whole entire life leading up to it of all the experiences to equal the sum total of the traits that you want them to have. So yeah, you can create somebody you don't know. You can recreate someone that you barely know. You're constantly creating people. How you're constantly creating people are the assumptions that you have of them. You changed your assumptions about the person, you're going to change the person. Okay. So that's what you got to start doing. You got to start assuming that they're the person that you want them to be. And you know what? In some instances, the less that you know about somebody, the easier it's going to be to change them, because you don't have that past history and evidence of them doing the opposite. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. Yeah. Yeah, you're so welcome. So yes, you can recreate people any way you like them to act and to show up, even though you're not in a relationship with them. You're constantly creating everybody in your reality. That's the beauty of it. So 31 minutes and 8 seconds. Oops, what's going on here? 31:08. We have Cece's question. Any pro tips of getting rid of the old story once and for all? Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, what I do is I basically stop dwelling on it. And I say, look at, you know what? My thoughts create, everyone's gonna be pushed out. I'm changing it as of right now. Like, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna make a conscious choice to let it go and start focusing on the new story. And, and that's the main thing, right? If you've got a strong, belief and hold in reality and in the 3D world, then it's going to be harder. But if you look at the 3D world and you say, I created that, so it doesn't mean anything, then it's easier to let go. Okay. So if we accept what we've created as something we've created, doesn't mean we have to let people walk on us. No, we're not a doormat. It's not about letting people walk on us. It's not about anything like that. It's just about accepting, okay, I've created that, so I can change it, rather than thinking that it was created out of your control and how are you going to change that person because they're blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to is, build your belief in everyone as you pushed out. And, you'll notice in those moments where everyone is you pushed out, you look at things that people have done and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter so much. But when you get lost in the 3D world, and you think people are doing things to you, and you've got no control, it's a lot harder to step out of it. So be thankful, create in those other areas of your life so you really start to see the power and the magic that you have as a creator. Okay, so yeah, so the next one is 33 minutes for Lisa's question. So 33 minutes. So we've got your question. Do you have any tips to help focus and discipline your mind? I know it takes practice and persistence. It does. There is Neville technique. I don't know which book I read it in, but he was basically saying before bed, go through your day backwards, right? So lay in bed and be like, okay, I laid here. Before that, I brushed my teeth. Before that, I flossed my teeth. Before that, I was on the couch watching TV. And before that, I was watching TikTok. And before that, Andrew got me a glass of water. And go through your day backwards. Yeah, that's one way. I think somebody else said to do the alphabet backwards if you're not used to that. So anything where you actually have to take focus, right? What I do sometimes, how intentions, you're like, well, it's almost like this in your head. You're like, yeah, I intend Gerry to, you know what I mean? I actually stop and I'm like, no, Amanda, you're going to sit and focus. Okay, I intend for Gerry to call me. Right. And I actually, also will sit and picture the words, and just slow myself down, just get focused. Right. So, but yeah, anything that, takes you to actually focus on and to think about and just keep practicing doing that. Right. One thing that I do to help focus and discipline my mind is I will write out intentions. When it's all bleh in there, I will sit down with a pen and paper, and I've got gel pens, the gel pens, and they're sparkly. I will actually write out my intentions. Yes, I'm left-handed. I will write out my intentions, okay? And I think that's very important sometimes because it helps to actually focus them. And then when you actually look at them on the piece of paper after, you're like, okay, wait a minute, that's not specific enough. You know what I mean? Like you start to kind of notice how where maybe what you're thinking and what you're actually coming out with isn't quite, connecting together. So yeah, when I revamp anything or I'm feeling all blah, I will actually write out my intentions just to get really clear on it. Okay. So yeah, those are some tips to focus your mind, right? And whenever possible, take the moment to say, okay, look at, we're going to start focusing on this, you know, um, definitely 100%. So you guys are all absolutely amazing. Those were all the questions that you have today. Yes, we have a sale on right now, guys. But like I said, you don't need to really you know it, you can always, it's the coaches help you to guide you, to teach you, to speed up the manifestation process, because you've got somebody that's there saying, hey, you know what, that statement made, is blocking you. I mean, I've done coaching many times in my life, and I've also created things without coaching in my life, and that's what it is. If you want to get somewhere quicker, it's always nice having somebody in your corner that you can talk to. So yeah, so like things like one question on here I'll just answer. What would you recommend for revising bankruptcy for it to disappear from your 3D world without a trace and have excellent credit? So I've actually got a story with that. So back when I was like in my 20s, like I had terrible credit, like I had a student loan, I had all this stuff. Anyways, basically I had said one day, and it was like kind of an off the wall comment. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it can't stay on your credit report forever. It must disappear. Right. And then sure enough, right, like about 10 years later, I was like going to do something about my credit, but I never really did. Anyway, so then basically, I went and I went to go get a car, and they were like, oh, you got nothing on your credit. It all actually just fell off. Like it all just went bye-bye. And it turns out there's a rule in Canada that 7 years in a day, or at least BC, British Columbia, after 7 years in a day, things fall off of your credit report. So guys, we used to have a bridge out here that was tolled. Okay. And I was like, no, I intend it's free. Now the toll's off the bridge. You can change laws and things in your country. You can change things. Don't limit yourself. You're absolutely powerful, and you can do it. Now, can you just go from learning, today, oh, I just heard about law of attraction, to, 100% I'm going to move a mountain? No, but as you keep practicing and as you keep testing it, you build up your faith, right, to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. I've done that many times. We used to have to pay for medical service plan here in BC. Not anymore. It's free. We used to have to pay like $75 a month, and it was like $37.50 a month. Now it's zero. And I was intending that. I intended that. So put out there what you want. And start focusing on it, and don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt the law. You've got to keep those intentions that your thoughts do create, and you are going to get what you want, and you have to keep focused on that, because that's the main thing, is you've really got to focus. So, yeah, so again, Serena, everyone's you pushed out. You can say that they gave you the wrong information, maybe that they were mistaken, maybe there's a loophole. I mean, get creative. You're a creator. You're God. You can have what you want, right? I think the important thing here, guys, is not to take what comes in the 3D world as solid fact that can't be changed, because then we're just a victim and reacting to what we've created, especially if there's circumstances we don't want. Okay. So, let's start, being proactive and shaping what we want our future to be tomorrow. Let's start investing our thoughts right now on what we want to create tomorrow. Let's start creating that everybody loves us unconditionally, and yeah. And you know what? We can even create what we want other people to feel about us. So, for instance, I intend that all of you guys feel like I appreciate you, and that Create Your Future and all of the coaches here absolutely want you guys to be successful, and that we do this because we care about you guys and we want you guys to have what you want in your life. There's no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as lack. There's no such thing as scarcity. There's abundance. You guys can have everything that you want. I can have everything that I want. Everybody can be a billionaire. Everybody can be happy in a relationship. Everybody can have exactly what they want. And the funny thing is not everybody wants the same things. But even if they did, there's enough to go around for everybody, you know? So guys, you know what? Start intending that people know that you have their best interest in mind. Start intending that they have your best interest in mind, that everybody loves each other unconditionally, that they pull together and they pull together to help people, and that they're nice to each other and that they're supportive with each other, and we can create this to be a better world, and you know, to help pick each other up in those times that we may not be doing all that great. Anyways, guys, I appreciate that there was only a few questions today. Only because I need to rest. But thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. And thank you for all the support and for keeping me company for the last week. I was reading all your guys' comments, and you know, I truly do love all of you guys, and I definitely appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so very much. Bye-bye.